Thanks for joining us for this video, everyone. I'm Ollie. I'm the community manager at Stacker, and I am joined by Jordan from his beautiful cabin today. Here, me with my interrogation room background is no match for it. And we're running this webinar to teach you about building with Stacker. So there's lots of different things that you can do with Stacker. We've run things like this before about building CRMs, home rental apps, even built a non-profit hub. And today we wanted to look at something quite close to my heart because I do run one of these myself, but an affiliate portal, because having a way to track, in fact, I'm not going to give away what we're actually going to be building. I'm going to let Jordan talk a little bit more about that, but I'm really delighted that Jordan's joining us. And Jordan, I might just ask you to share a bit about yourself and your agency first before we get onto the actual build.
Sure, Ollie. Well, it's good to be here with you today. Thanks for inviting me back 3-4 months ago. It's been a long time coming to make this happen. But yeah, I run a company called Zeus, and you can find us at zeusos.co. That's ZEUSOS.co. That's Zeus operating system. That's our product. Basically, we build operating systems for digital agencies. So, that comprises of 4 core system solutions. You got a team hub, a project management system, a learning management system where you house your SOPs, trainings, right? Big picture vision there is replacing yourself in the business sooner rather than later. And then you got a CRM. And of course, the big picture vision of the systems is also building that business, building a systematized 7-figure machine that works without you. And again, we almost exclusively help digital agencies. So anyhow, what we're building today is a referral partner portal. A lot of agency owners can find this very helpful. Or they might not even, you don't even have to be an agency owner to find an affiliate portal or a referral partner portal helpful. I think in the agency world, we would call it like a referral partner portal. Maybe in like the B2B or B2C B2B SaaS world, maybe we would call that an affiliate portal, right? So a little bit of different terminologies there. So I call it a referral partner portal, and it's helpful for our partners to be able to log into the system and get visibility on where the deals are that they submitted to us, what stage of the game they're at, as well as deals that have closed that they referred our way. It's very helpful for them to be able to see when the payout or what's the status of the payout. Does it still need to be scheduled? Is it in progress? Has it been scheduled? Where's the receipt? The receipt can be right there in the portal. So all really helpful stuff to give visibility for our partners.
That's awesome. And yeah, it's the kind of thing, I remember running something like this like 5-6 years ago, that totally ran the whole thing off a spreadsheet. And we even had like a whiteboard with like, to-do lists and like endless emails backwards and forwards. And I think while there are like, there's probably thousands of off-the-shelf SaaS tools that you could pick for this kind of thing, I think every process like this is unique, which is where I think tools like Stacker can come into this to help build something for your business rather than for like everyone's business.
Yeah, build your own custom solution, and it's not going to break the bank either. Like Stacker is so, I'm not necessarily like a Stacker spokesperson, but I always find Stacker so affordable. You might go on there and see like, the different plans, like $150 a month, $300 a month, whatever. And you see like 10 collaborators. And I would get confused by that. In the beginning, before I really know what Stacker was, it's 10 people can log into my app. That's for $300. No, unlimited people can log into your app. Like that's just 10 collaborators, people building the app, which, I would argue you don't even like need. So it's like super affordable. You don't have to spend $100,000 on a custom developed software solution.
And even, for an off-the-shelf SaaS, I got quoted 20 grand a year as a starting price for, one of the major ones recently, which is, just not affordable for many, many businesses out there.
Yep.
So yeah, shall we get into it? Like, do you want to share your screen and we can start taking a look at what we're going to build today?
Yeah, guys, and give me some slack here, everybody. This is
this is
building
a live demo.
Live.
Yeah,
right. It's a live demo. I thought that it would be a good idea to kind of show people what this looks like. What's the end product here? What are we building? And this is kind of what it is. So you've got this commission dashboard. You can see if I'm this particular person, Zach, I can see 5 deals that I've referred have closed. $794 is my average payout. I've earned $4,000 in total. Disregard that monthly recurring payout thing. I'm not going to go into the weeds as to what that is or why it's 0 outside of the scope of this conversation. And if I go right in here, I can see, all right, this particular deal that was referred closed and it's paid in full. I can just click into there. I can see that all this information about it. If you'd like, we can comment on it, whatever. And yeah, you can see what stage of the game it's at. You see this progress bar, to be scheduled, and paid in full. Obviously, if it were not yet scheduled, if it were not yet scheduled, only the to be scheduled part would be blue. And then I think the other 2 parts of it would be kind of grayed out to kind of indicate the progress of the payout. The receipts right in there. It says confirmation right there. And yeah, pretty simple stuff, but gives visibility for Zach into his payouts that he's owed. And by the way, if there is no receipt here, Zach is going to be able to just click a button to request a receipt. And we're going to get that request, and we're going to upload that receipt into here once we get that request. As well, as soon as a payout is scheduled or it's marked as paid in full, there's 2 different emails that go out. As soon as it's marked as scheduled, we tell the referral partner that, hey, you got money on the way. And that's an auto email. And then once it's paid in full, we also have an email go out notifying them that they got paid in full with all sorts of variables and information in that email. And those automations are supported by Airtable. We're using Airtable automations for those. We'll dive into that a little bit later, probably at the top of the hour. Hopefully we will get there. So is this helpful, Ollie, to see the finished product here? Yeah,
100%. I'm feeling inspired. In fact, there's a couple of changes I'm going to make to my own version of this behind the scenes after the session. So
nice.
So yeah.
So let's start here. We're going to build a new app. This is our step number 1. Referral partner portal, webinar, and get a little bit of a different icon here. I'll use the 100.
I always spend way too much time thinking about the icon.
Yeah. I love that stuff. We'll do red because that's the 100 icon is usually red. And we'll hit create here. Oh, that looks fire, man.
Beautiful.
Red
beautiful.
100. That's good. All right, so we got this. And by the way, guys, I have a standard operating procedure on how to build a referral partner portal in Slack. I'm going to be using this today to kind of guide me because, again, you got to have cold blood in your veins to build something live, and it's not always easy. And this is a helpful little, I guess we'll call it it's an assist. It's an assist. So if you would find this helpful, you can hit me up at jordan@zeusos.co if you want this SOP, and I'm happy to send this to you. Or Ollie, you and I were kind of talking about the best way to share this with people, and I honestly don't really know. We'll figure that out. But anyhow, so we're going to log into Stacker HQ. We did that, create a new app on the left-hand side, and then now step 3, we're going to add Airtable data. So let's go in there. And I think we're going to do settings right there, and then click Airtable. And then we got to get the API key. What I'm going to do here, since I don't want to share my API key, I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen.
That's great. Yeah, so really important that you don't share your API key with anyone. For watchers, like it acts as like a key, right? It gives you access to the data. So while Jordan's doing this, I'll explain about Stacker data sources a little bit more. That you can use Airtable. If you're not familiar with Airtable, it's it's kind of somewhere between a spreadsheet and a database. It's like a hipster version of Excel. I love it. But it works really well with Stacker, but you can also use Google Sheets to power your data. And there's a whole host of other data sources you can use as well. But I'm a big fan of it. And I should mention as well, actually, that there is a built-in table system called Stacker Tables. So you can just have your database within Stacker as well. But a lot of people use Airtable because it gives a nice kind of central place to have their source of truth, and then use Stacker as like a portal or a way for people to access Airtable. So yeah, how goes connecting it, Jordan?
Good. The other part, yeah, go ahead.
I just gonna say, don't worry. Like what just happened is explained, in the process as you do this, so you'll be able to set it up no problem yourself.
Yeah, the one thing that people didn't see, I couldn't show people because it still showed my API key right there on the screen, but I had to get a shared base link for my Airtable data, and that's right here. You just hit share and then hit share publicly, and you'll be able to get a share link for your base, which is an important part of the process to connect Airtable to Stacker. So I think at a certain point, I think I'm going to want to show the Airtable data as well. Maybe right now is probably the best part to do that. So this is what we're plugging in to Stacker. I have a simple table here called Commission Dashboard, and it has these fields: a opportunity field, the recipient field, which is a linked record that goes to the contacts table, which is right here, which I have set up this way. And then there's a value of the deal, which is a lookup field. For me, you don't have to make it a lookup field. You can manually enter it, but I have that. This is our CRM, Ollie. So this is looking up the value of the deal from the opportunities table, which is right here. So it's pulling the deal size from our CRM right there. And then the commission percentage, we just enter that in manually. That kind of varies by deal and the agreement that we have with the particular referral partner. Enter that in, and then that will automatically calculate right here in this formula field. You can see the formula, just value times commission percentage, and that will calculate the amount owed. And then we have the status, which is important for our build today, which is just to be scheduled, and paid in full. And then a place, an attachment field for the receipt, where you can upload that. And then the recipient contact info. This is a lookup field. We have this in here to support our automations. Remember the automation that I was talking about earlier, where as soon as something is marked as scheduled or paid in full, the recipient of the payout is getting an email sent to them. So we have this as a lookup field, and it's pulling from the recipient linked record, which is right here, which is, of course, a linked record to the contacts table right here. So when you're filling in your contacts, Ollie, you're going to want to have their email, like for example, right here, you want to have that specified. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to log in to the Stacker portal, because this happens to be, as we'll see later, our user table, and they're not going to get those auto emails if that's something you want to build into your Stacker portal, your referral partner portal. So back to commission dashboard here. And then the request receipt button. Remember I was saying earlier that someone can just click a button in Stacker, and they're going to get it's going to send a request to us to upload the receipt into the portal for them to see. So we have that checkbox there. And then we have some other tables right here. Referrals, we're going to be using that. This is basically just a table for people to submit referrals to us. They use this form right here. And these are the important fields. And then as soon as they submit it, that goes right into here. And then we have an opportunities table that we're going to be using as well, I believe. This is our CRM. This is basically just opportunities grouped by status. And basically, here's how it works. So we closed digital agency number 1, and then we have a linked record field that says referral partner. And Gavin is linked here as the referral partner. So when Gavin logs into the referral partner portal, he'll be able to see digital agency number 1 in his dashboard. And by the way, this person right here, Bogdan, he won't be able to see that. That's the whole, in my opinion, the big value prop of Stacker is being able to set these advanced permissions where only Gavin can see Gavin's stuff. Only Bogdan can see Bogdan's stuff.
I heard one of our team refer to Stacker's like main thing as like preventing spreadsheet saboteurs. Like it just gives people access to the right data at the right time, and you can control all of that centrally.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to go back to my handy little SOP here. So I've added Airtable data. I'm going to click, yep, did that. So now we're going to clean up the tables. And
so we're heading over to Stacker now.
Yeah, we're heading over to Stacker. And you see, it's just pulled in every table from my CRM, the Airtable, in Airtable. And I don't need all these. I just need really only like 2 or 3. Oh, no, I need opportunities. Just check all of these off. Contacts we don't need. Commission dashboard we need. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to keep these 3 only. Commission dashboard, opportunities, and referrals. Head back over to my SOP right here. This is really the way I like to do SOPs, by the way, Ollie. I just kind of, I have a step-by-step overview here. And as I'm recording the Loom video of the SOP, I'm just kind of going like line by line, so that it just becomes a really easy and repeatable process for whoever's following the video to just do themselves. So next, I
love it, by the way. This is just such, this is how I learned no-code tools, was watching people go through things like this. So yeah, brilliant.
So now we're going to set up the user table, Ollie, and we're going to click the user icon. Okay. And that is right here, manage users. And we're going to hit choose table. User table is, no, I still need one.
Yeah.
No, I need the contacts table. I did say that earlier. Okay. So I'll go back to app settings, view tables, and I'll do contacts. All right.
So this is a list of people who can access the app, who you want to, or give some of these people access to log in and be able to see this information.
Exactly. Thanks for the color commentary there. That's like big picture stuff. I'm missing that. I'm just going like to the technical stuff.
That's what I'm here for. I'm just here to give the overview.
So contacts, that's our user table. And then the email address in that table is email. And whatever you use for your user table, you have to have an email field there, because that's how the users log in to the portal that you're building. So we're going to actually add a filter here, Ollie, because I don't want all these people having access. You very well can just give all these people access, but I've actually set it up as such where type of contact is partner. So if you are a partner in the contacts table, you have access to the partner portal and nobody else does. So the other 100 people that you saw there, they don't have access. They can't log in.
And that's just like a single select that you've set up in Airtable, is that right?
Exactly. I'll show that real quick. Contacts, and yeah, type of contact Real simple. Partner. Actually, yeah, it's a multiple select. So somebody can be a partner and a customer, which happens.
And so by creating something in the Airtable, it means you can control the level of access within Stacker just by using those single select or multi-select fields.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So going back to our SOP here. Yep, we got the user table set up. Now this is where things get wonky. We're going to set up the permissions right here. And basically we're just going to click around, play around until it works. Because sometimes even the best of us have issues with the permissions part. So it's important when you're doing this, give yourself some slack. Don't get frustrated because, like I said, even the best of us have challenges setting up permissions. It's one of the harder things to do with no code applications.
For sure, I can back that up 100%. You got to just sort of try things out, and just eventually it will get there. But yeah, don't get stressed if it doesn't work perfectly straight away.
Yeah. So you guys are going to see me under pressure now. So yeah, this is the issue I usually run into. And again, usually I just click around until it works. So ownership filter is the record. And then, oh, whoa, it's here. Oh, thank goodness. It's here. Usually, sometimes when I go here, it says no options.
I think, I think that sometimes happens to me if I've not set the user table up yet. I sometimes come to permissions first by accident, and then I need to come here afterwards. But do you want to just explain quickly, actually, just why you're selecting that? Like what that linking you've done is?
Yeah, so let me read this. The record matches the user's contacts profile commission dashboard. I don't know how to explain it like super technically. What I'm doing here is making sure, like I said earlier, high level, like only Gavin can see Gavin stuff. Like Gavin will only be able to see items where Gavin is tagged in the link record field for that particular commission item, that record.
Yeah. And this is the beauty of linked fields. Linked fields are so important when it comes to permissions, because you can say this user should have access to this information over here in this separate table, but this user shouldn't. This user should see this table instead. And I think setting up your linked fields first is the best way to approach permissions. But sometimes you got to kind of go to one, go to the other, and then kind of come back again. And, it can take a couple of turns around to make sure you've got it set up just right.
Mm-hmm. And what I'm doing here, field access, I don't really want for this particular table, I don't want people to be able to update anything or create anything. So I just bulk unchecked everything and create and update. And then with the read only, I don't want everyone to be able to read everything either. Like I don't want them to, what do I not want them to see really? So record, status, value, that's fine. No, I don't want them to be able to see the total value. You know what? That's okay. They can see that. Amount owed, commission percentage, that's fine. Yep. Receipt, I do want them to see. Recipient contact info, like that's just like a back end field for us, for the automation to know where to send the automatic emails. So they don't need to see that. They know their email. And then request receipt. Again, that's another like back end thing. I don't need them to be able to necessarily read that field. So I'm going to hit save right there. And then we got to do permissions for these other tables. And I'm going to go back to my SOP really quick because I know that I only need 3 tables here, but I have 4. So yeah, commission dashboard, contacts, and opportunities. That's what I thought. I wanted to double check. I don't need referrals. Don't need that. So now we'll go into, we'll do for opportunities, some records. And again, I don't really want them to be able to update or create anything. Create would be obviously like they'll be able to create, in this case, a new opportunity in your CRM, which I don't really want them to have access to my CRM that way. Nor do I even want them to be able to update anything in our CRM. Keep that.
So it might be that if you had like an admin role, but you didn't want to give that admin access to your Airtable, you could give them the ability to create a new thing within Stacker, but without giving them access to the full Airtable. I'm thinking aloud here, kind of, but yeah, that. Yeah.
So all I want them to see in the opportunities table is like just opportunity name, status, estimated value, and the service. Like they don't, this is all like stuff for us in our CRM, like re-engage date, all that stuff. They don't need to see that. Lead sources, like obviously everything in here is a referral. So maybe entry date. You know what? Yeah, that's a good one. All right. And then I'll hit save there. Oh, I still need to do some records. Add ownership filter. The record matches. Yeah, no, I need to do the other one. Record commission tracker. And then just select what's there. Hit done. And now we're good. So now what they'll be able to do is they're only going to be able to see opportunities that they are attached to, that they are associated with. And then the contacts table right here. Again, some records. Let's see. The record commission dashboard should work. And then, update is fine for this. Maybe like this is kind of like, we'll see how this comes together later, but this is kind of like their profile area, so to say. So I do want to give them the ability to, for example, update their email. Phone number doesn't really matter. Title doesn't really matter. LinkedIn. Title's fun. Actually, that might be helpful.
If they get their PhD, they might need to log in and update that.
I need to update it. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was thinking. Type of contact. No. Notes. No, we don't want them to see our personal notes on them. We don't want them to see what we're saying about them. Status. Commission dashboard. Okay. This looks good. All right. And then I'll just hit save. Okay. So we've set our permissions, and that was the hard part. So it's all downhill from here. Now we're going to go back to our handy dandy SOP. What's that from? It's like Blue's Clues or Dora or Handy Dandy Notebook. That's Blue's Clues. I don't know if you watched that show. I don't know. I grew up in America. I don't know if they had that show where you grew up.
I don't think I know Dora the Explorer. I've never heard of Blue's Clues though. Like, should I check it out? Is it a classic?
I think you should, man. I think you should check it out. No, I'm kidding. All right, so we set up the permissions. Now this is like, this is kind of the fun part. We're gonna set up and design the different pages here, the layout. We're gonna edit the layout. So what we were seeing here, guys, in the partner portal, the end state one, this is where it's gonna start to come together. This is really what we're gonna aim to design right now. So I'll go back to the hunt. And then, so we just got kind of like a default sort of view right here. This is what it looks like, kind of similar to the end state, but not quite where we want it to be. First, what I'm going to do though is, before I close the book on permissions, I want to make sure that I actually did it right. So I'm going to hit preview as, and I'm going to pretend that I'm Gavin. All right. So I can't see any of Bogdan's stuff right here. Now let me just check with Bogdan. Let's see if Bogdan can see any of Gavin's stuff. Bogdan cannot. Bogdan can only see his items. So this gives us an indication that we set up the permissions correctly, at least on the commission dashboard page, which, by the way, we're going to kind of rename these pages, right? These tabs on the side. We'll do that later, though. So
I feel like I need like a drum roll sound effect for like preview ads with permissions. Like
yeah, totally. I got a little scared there when it kind of showed up with nothing for the first like split second. I don't know if you guys noticed that, and I was like, oh man, I gotta diagnose this. Anyway, we're gonna hit edit layout right now, and what we'll do is first and foremost just kind of add a header here. Not an important part, but is part. I'll use Unsplash as a nice Stacker has a nice little integration there. I can look up like money isometric. I don't know. Whenever I add isometric to the end of something, it comes up with good images. Except these aren't isometric images, but that's okay. I'll just use this.
I found this really cool like pattern generator. It kind of just creates CSS patterns a couple of days ago, and I've been using it for all my Stacker apps. I'll share it with you afterwards because it's just like you put in like you put in your brand colors, and it just makes like a cool looking thing. Big fan.
All right. Okay, so got that. And then what we're going to do is sort things by status. So let's say that I would like, I want it to be descending. Everything that's paid in full already, I'd like that to kind of fall to the bottom. And anything that's still outstanding, I would like to float to the top. And that's what I just did there by making the status descending. And then anything that I need to do here, we're going to do table. I like to just do the maximum amount of items per page. So we'll do that. And then I like to add charts. First off, cover image. See the circle next to these records, guys? So it says digital agency number 1, Gavin, ZeusOS.co. To the left, there's like a grayed out circle. It's basically just pulling up the image of the receipt and putting it there. And since there is no receipt uploaded for those yet, it's just grayed out. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to have the receipt sitting there like kind of a profile picture. Like it just doesn't make sense. So I like it like this. It's much cleaner. So now we're going to go add some charts, enable charts.
I'll just jump in and say, so charts is actually like a beta feature of Stacker. So if you don't see it there, you can actually just email support and they'll enable it for you. But it won't necessarily be there for all users when you first make your app, but it can just be enabled very, very easily.
I actually had no idea. I thought everybody had it. It's news to me.
You're one of the privileged few.
Yeah, I think so. So create chart. Okay. So now I can see, and look, I'm not previewing it as somebody, but let's just say that I am. Let's take a look at that. I'll save and continue. So now if I'm Gavin, I can see how much money I've earned. I hope. Oh, this was happening to me earlier. No, I just need
maybe
to
refresh the page, maybe. Yeah. Turn it off and on again. That's the trick.
There we go. So
nice.
Now I can see I'm Gavin. I've earned $10,470 from referring deals to Zeus. I'm going to exit the preview. And then I like to throw another cool one in there. No. Not manage users. Okay. Edit layout. Yeah. And I like to put in there the average payout size. Average payout. It's kind of helpful for a referral partner to see that basically if I refer somebody to Zeus, then I'm, that's basically an automatic $2,817 right here. Basically, how much is a referral worth, or rather, how much is a closed referral worth? The other thing that I like to put in here is a pie chart by status. And what am I going to call that? Maybe like referrals grouped status, closed referrals grouped by status. There's probably a more user-friendly name for that, but just for the sake of time. And this is something interesting, Ollie, and this is why I guess it's in beta, but every time I create this chart, it actually just like kind of cuts out.
Yeah, I just spotted that. Yeah. I'll let the team know.
Oh, okay, here we go. And then maybe, no. So, yeah, hopefully we can fix that. But yeah, pretty cool. So you've got that. All right. I'll hit save layout. And then I'm just going to click into here. So if I'm trying to find out more about Digital Agency 1, if I'm Gavin and I'm trying to find out more about the status of that payout, I would click into this record right here. And now, because I clicked into here, we'll be able to customize this page. And let me just check how we're doing on time. 4:38. All right, I got to move. Record header. Let's see. Yeah, what should the header be? I'll keep it as the record title. Yeah. Subheading.
So that's the bit that says Digital Agency #1 Gavin up at the top is the record heading there.
Exactly. Yeah. And then this is my favorite thing to do. I like to put in a pipeline widget, and I base that off of status that we saw earlier. Oh no, I actually don't put a title here. And then you have to check on all the statuses. So now you can see, because this one is to be scheduled red. If it were paid in full, then everything would be red, as in, it'd be 100% loading, 100% done loading. I kind of think of this pipeline widget like a loading bar, Ollie.
Yeah, exactly. And one actually little thing to point out there is you can uncheck the thing that says make read only, and that means that your users can click on the pipeline bits itself to like move a thing along, which is kind of cool.
Which, think about this use case. So a lot of times if we're building a customer portal for an ad agency, they've got a whole ad approvals process, and a lot of these ad agencies, they don't have like a perfect solution for their ad approvals process. And we come in and we create awesome ad approval systems, and customers can log in and literally just approve. They can just approve the creative right here in the portal, whether that be by, a widget like this or pressing a button to approve it. That's again, the beauty of Stacker. You can easily create a read-only type portal in Airtable, just by sharing a view with somebody. But to create a portal where somebody can also make updates, and maybe even create things, that's another one of the real value adds of using something like Stacker.
I just got to agree, right?
Got to agree, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to get rid of this here. I don't mess with the data view in this, and I just like to kind of put some stuff here. Status I don't need. So what's the value of the deal? What's the commission percentage and the amount owed? And I'll just kind of make these more user-friendly names. Deal size.
So this doesn't change the name of the field behind the scenes, but it just changes it for what your user is seeing in the app.
What's this? Oh my
Oh
goodness.
yeah,
I
I
didn't
know.
know you could do this. Oh,
This is like new, like as of last week, I think. Yeah, we have
oh,
new ways to visualize stuff.
oh wow. Let's have fun with this. This one you can't, I don't think. But yeah, with the percentage field, that's hot. That's nice. Amount owed. Yeah, your payout. Perfect. So, oh yeah, tabs. I like to put an activity tab right there so that Gavin can come in here, and if he wants to comment on it, and we can go back and forth on it here. What else
It's almost
here?
like a little kind of chat function, kind of a pseudo chat function for people to talk within the app, and you can tag people within it, so they get notifications and things like that.
Um, I'm going to have the receipt show up here if there is a receipt. Now, I have a question for you, actually, Ollie. Oh, display as image. Yeah, I was going to. Yeah, I'm just like wondering if there's a more aesthetic way to display receipt. This is traditionally how I've done it. I wonder if we can get it to view with any of these other widgets. No, I don't think so. Maybe they got
I've
banner.
generally just had it like that as an attachment. You can, I mean, if it's hosted off-site, like at a URL, you could have it as a button. But if
Right.
it's an actual file, then I've always just had it as a field like that. It doesn't look the prettiest, but yeah.
I'm not focusing too much on copywriting right now, guys, but I'm just making a simple little call to action here. Submit more referrals like this one. And then make like a button URL. So maybe I'll have that be a link to the form in referrals. Remember this little form here, share form, copy. And then we'll go back to here. Make that the button URL and then submit.
I feel duty bound to point out as well, we do have forms within Stacker.
Yes.
There are benefits to Airtable versus Stacker for sure. Like they're kind of set up slightly differently. But for kind of straightforward, like adding a new thing to your Stacker app, they work pretty well. But there are reasons that you might want to use Airtables.
Yeah, yeah. And I've looked into both. I've used both, and I'm just doing this one for simplicity and sake of time right now. But yeah. Let's see. Anything else? Related record those banner? No, I'm good here. So I'm gonna save a layout. Now what I've got to figure out here. See, sometimes you forget things, a little bit rusty. So how, Oliver, do we create like an action on this page? Like basically, if receipt is empty, then create the ability to
So have like a button to like add something. So if you go to
yeah.
page buttons at the top right.
Oh, right here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then add new.
Ah, yes.
So then we can set this up to update the record. So yeah, request receipt. And you can also use this to trigger zaps in Zapier. We don't have time for that today, I don't think. But
Totally.
if you're familiar with automation that way, then you can do that. But yeah, you can set it to do that. And if you click the edit button, then yeah, so we don't want a default value. And I guess we don't need it to be required because it's only one thing. But if we click, you might want to add a step title and description. Might not be necessary. If you go back, sorry. And then down at the bottom, yeah. Submit receipt perhaps, or request receipt, sorry.
I thought there was a way. You know what's interesting here? I'm not even seeing my correct. Remember the request receipt field, which not something that we'll spend too much time troubleshooting, but in here in my commission
Was
dashboard.
ah
Here's the
sorry. So
request.
to have a thing to check the checkbox. Sorry. I
Yeah,
think
but I didn't
did
even
we?
see that field.
I think that's because if we set up the permissions, so it's not visible for this type of user. So I think we need to go back into permissions and change that.
Cool. Okay.
I
Back
think.
into permissions. Yeah, that might be right.
And this is like what we were talking about earlier, that you kind of, I always see this as like, it's like building an IKEA table. You know, you kind of get all of your different components screwed together a little bit, but not fully tightened. And then you have to kind of go back around and tighten everything back up again. You know, like, yeah, we generally have to go back and make sure permissions are sort of set up.
Super interesting. Now I wonder what's going on here. Wonder what happened. Make sure these are okay. The selected object is no longer valid.
Okay, this is a new one for me.
Matches. What matches users' content? I feel like something happened. I don't know what I did.
Yeah, I didn't see you change any of the things that would. I'm afraid this is a new error message on me. So I guess what I would suggest is perhaps just in the interest of time, since we've only got about 10 minutes left, maybe we could just kind of talk through, or we could have it so instead of having the checkbox for the edit button, we could have it so people can edit the receipt itself using the add new button, if that makes sense.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so they can do that just via the edit button that you have up there.
I see. Or even, you know, you can create a way to request a receipt. Like, you know, you could create some sort of call to action like this one, submit more referrals like this one. And, you know, it could just be like a form or something. I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah. See, these are the perils of building something live.
You know what?
I could figure this out if I had 20 minutes of silence. Easy.
Course, yeah. But I'm afraid you have to listen to my voice to talking over things. But I tell you what, actually, maybe just because we've hit this slightly unexpected thing, maybe you could show it in action on one of your other apps, or is that sure. You can kind of see the finished result, because clearly something has gone a little awry there.
Yeah. So ours is set up a little bit different. We have a commission dashboard and commission payments, because sometimes there's like 10 different payments in one referral payout. You know, that's why it says like payment 1 of 1. You know, sometimes it says payment 1 of 10, right? So there is a receipt here, and so there is no button for that.
Oh, you're still previewing. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I think they all have receipts, which is the problem here.
So you've set it up so if the receipt is there, the button doesn't exist. Yeah,
exactly. It's conditional.
Yeah.
Which, if you've got time, you know, if you've got a good half-hour block to play around and figure it out, is something that is more than figure outable.
Yeah. So basically, you can create, say, a button to update a record like this, and you can decide if that button should exist based on certain conditions. So what's happened here is that if there isn't a receipt, a button will appear where that receipt is, you know, upload receipt or something like that. But because that receipt is there, it's not showing that button. And that's actually a really powerful tool in general with Stacker, is that you can kind of change the experience for your users based on conditions, you know, remind them that they need to do a certain thing, or, you know, change the layout of a page depending on how far they are on a process. So yeah.
So really, guys, the short of it is, like, they'll be able to, if there's no receipt there, they'll be able to click a button that says request receipt. That request receipt button, what that'll trigger is checking a box in Airtable. By clicking request receipt, they now the box that says request receipt in Airtable, the field right here, this box will that'll be checked by them clicking that button, and then that will fire this automation, which basically, when a record matches conditions, if request receipt is checked, so if the box is checked, which they're doing by clicking that button in Stacker, then they're going to get this email that you saw on the screen earlier. Gavin from Zeus is requesting a receipt or confirmation of payment for the following referral payout, and it'll be linked right there. Please upload at the link above. And then the other thing that we have here is, as soon as something is marked as, so what I was saying earlier, and I want to show people before we run out of time how these automations are set up. When a record is updated, the status, right, in the commission dashboard table, the status is updated. So if it is scheduled, they're going to get this email right here. I'm going to generate a preview of it. Congrats, you owed this much money for this lead. Log into your partner portal at this link right here. Make more money by submitting more leads here. Cheers, the Zeus team. And then when they are finally paid, when it goes through, they will then receive this email, full 720 that we owe you for sending this deal our way. It's been paid. Log in here, submit more leads here. Cheers, the Zeus team. Subject line, you just got paid by Zeus. And then, of course, the two who we're sending it to is the recipient contact info, which again is that lookup field right here in the commission dashboard table, which is pulling from the recipient, which is pulling from the contacts table.
This web of a CRM that you have kind of pulling the data across. I love it. And yeah, the Airtable automations are so powerful as well. So you've kind of got Stacker almost as like the front end, Airtable as the database, but also as the kind of, the layer of automation, kind of getting everything talking to each other. And like I said, there is the option to use Zapier within Stacker as well, but there's loads of different ways that you can connect Stacker and Airtable to, every other SaaS tool out there in the world.
Yep. Something that I would like to do now is, if we could guide me a little bit. I'm a little bit rusty. I want to change the names on the left-hand side of our app right here.
Sure. Yeah. So if you go to navigation, just that. Yeah, that's it. Then you can edit these.
Referrals. Okay. Opportunities, contacts. Your profile.
So the toggles on the right, just get rid of them in your navigation bar in the app. And it's worth noting, so we're not going to cover this just now, but with advanced roles and advanced permissions and roles, you can actually set it up so specific users get different navbar items appearing for them. So you can have like your admins see this, your partners see, a different experience, and, which is pretty cool. But this is the kind of simpler version here.
Yeah. And then appearance stuff. You can upload your logo. It's really cool. If you guys have for example, if you have in your user table logos, like client logos, each client can, like somebody logging in, for example, like if Gavin's logging in, he'll be able to see his company's logo, right? Which is something that I haven't made use of in Stacker, but I've thought about it, and I always think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of customization, making it unique for all of your users.
Yeah. So really, what I do here, and I know that we're coming up on time, but what I would do is continue designing these pages. So this is basically like your referrals, which is all the deals that somebody has referred our way. And the first thing that I would do, because this is a jumbled mess, is I would sort this bad boy, and I would sort it by status so that it's going to be descending. Because that makes the most sense. They don't need to see all the ones that were like if we do ascending, the way I set it up, then all the ones that got disqualified rise to the top, which those aren't really relevant. And I suppose that you can even, if you want to filter out, if you don't want the deals that were disqualified if you don't want them to be able to see that, the deals that they sent your way that ended up being disqualified, then you can just easily filter that out by using this filter right here. And then let's see, opportunity name, status, estimated value. Okay, yeah. So just for the sake of time, I'm going to be kind of quick with things here. Display, maybe we want to play around with, ooh, that's pretty cool. I'll do that.
Cards look really nice, especially if you have like a header image. It kind of looks like Airbnb listings. But I realize we don't have any for this. Feels like this could almost be a Kanban board as well, right? Like having kind of deals moving from left to right.
Exactly. Yeah. I was kind of thinking that too. Yeah. The status field. There we go. Hey, that's pretty cool. I'm keeping that.
Nice.
All right. So what we're going to do now is click into one of these. So now we can design what this page looks like. If they click on Philly ads, for example, this deal that they referred, and we'll just customize what that looks like. So let's see. Oh, where did I was just hold on. Let me click out of here. Okay, cool. Page buttons.
Aware we only have a couple of minutes left, so should probably kind of fly through a quick high level sort of summary and
yeah. So, guys, basically I would do the same sort of thing here that I did with the other page, make it a similar design, maybe put a pipeline thing here based off of the status, check all these on, right? Whatever you want to do. And just kind of design it the same way I did before, maybe put another call to action, submit more leads like this one here, or the way I have it in our official referral partner portal is it says, it's a big call to action that says make more money. You may have saw that earlier.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I would just make this more aesthetic, right? Some different widgets in here. I would create highlights instead of having all these fields here. So that's really it. And then I would, of course, I don't want to neglect this, but if I had more time, I would figure out the issue that we're having with permissions right now. Obviously, something changed. I don't know. I probably did something, user error, as it usually is whenever I reach out to Stacker support. That's what I would do here, because they'll solve my issue real easily. Instead of me clicking around for 30 minutes, they can just solve it.
I think you could probably solve it yourself. Yeah. Without having a camera shoved in your face right now, I think you could probably solve it yourself in 10 minutes or so. But that's just the nature of these things. Exactly. But that was awesome. Man, it's amazing how much you can get done in that was 50 minutes of build, with a lot of explanation as well. So thank you so much for taking us through that.
And that's what I want to highlight too. I kind of sound like a real salesperson for Stacker. I could be a really good account executive for you guys. This is so funny. But anyway, all this stuff is buildable in 30 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, once you've got to grips with it, it's incredible how quickly you can move, over time that you have to iterate on it and kind of see how the processes evolve with organizations, and you have to kind of keep on it. But yeah, it's so fast. I mean, imagine just 5 years ago we'd have teams of developers building this kind of stuff, and it would take a while, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Cool.
The world's changing. It's getting easier and easier to use apps or to build an app than ever before. Every day, the barriers are coming down. They're coming down. And Stacker's a big part of that. And I thank you guys for it.
It's awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time today to build this. And yeah, I'll call it there because we're a minute over. But thanks so much for taking the time. And yeah, I'll catch you soon.
Thank you, Ollie.
Nice.